Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Today I thought we would talk about planning. Everybody has a different perspective on planning. People say, I'm a planner. Some people are like, I never plan, I'm spontaneous. Planning is tough. It's tough because of uncertainty. It's tough because we don't know the future. It's tough because we get wrapped up in our heads about it. And I thought right now we're in a time where thinking about the future and making plans, whether it's like how to survive the day or how to plan a vacation or how to plan your next job move, is difficult. It's difficult because there's so much uncertainty. So how do you do it? Like what's God's idea for how plans work? Well, I thought maybe we could look at some words from Solomon in Proverbs. He writes in Proverbs 16, 1-3. He says, the plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own sight, but the Lord weighs the motives. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. So it's almost like a sandwich of ideas, right? Our plans belong to us. We are told to plan. We're told to think. We're told to expend our energy, but not to do it apart from God, right? The plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Right there is sort of a gut check. How often do we make plans, the most well-intentioned, the most godly plans you can, but how often do we do it on our own? And what's the danger of doing it on our own? Well, I think that's the next part of the sandwich. All the ways of a man are clean in his own sight, but the Lord weighs the motives. See, the problem with planning is that we don't know our own motives. God knows our motives. And so we make plans based on what we think or what we think we feel or what we think is right. But without a real understanding, without really weighing motives, it is impossible for us to plan well. It's interesting that he uses the word weighs, right? What does it mean to weigh something? Well, to weigh something, you've got to understand it. You've got to know its mass, its size. You've got to know how to understand it. And that's what the Lord does for us. He weighs our motives. Even when we convince ourselves that our motives are pure, he knows the truth. And so that's why if you're going to make plans, you've got to do it in submission. And that's the third part of the sandwich. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. You see, the question is not necessarily, am I good at planning or am I bad? Am I smart enough or am I not? The question for us is whether or not we commit our works to the Lord. Easy to say, so hard to do. But he wants to establish our plans. He wants to partner with us in that. It's incredible that whether it's the mundane of planning a meal, which is not always mundane, or the great of planning life, the Creator wants to be in it with us. He wants to answer you when you ask. He wants to weigh your motives, even the terrible ones. He wants to establish your plans. All he asks for us is that we commit, that we're willing to lay down our own pride, our own motives, and to commit our plans. So for this Wednesday, take with you the idea that our motives are never what we think they are, but God weighs them and still wants to love us and still wants a relationship. And if our energy goes into committing them before him, to laying our plans before him, he is faithful to establish them. There's going to be opportunities today to make plans and to take action and to press forward. Commit to him. See how he is faithful and how he establishes our ways. What a great God we serve. Have a great Wednesday.